the United States has launched Operation Project Freedom. Right now, the US Navy is entering the most dangerous waters on Earth. The choice for Tehran is simple. Let the ships go or be wiped off the face of the Earth. Listen to me, this is the most important story you will hear today. Why? Because 21 miles of water are currently deciding if you can afford to drive to work tomorrow or if your savings will evaporate by next week. We've heard about tensions for years, but on May 4th, 2026, the game changed. While the world was sleeping, Apache helicopters were already turning Iranian hulls into scrap metal. There's a massive information vacuum out there. Governments call this a humanitarian gesture, but in the Strait, it's a shooting war. Today, we peel back the curtain on the operation that could ignite World War III. Today, we break down Project Freedom. We'll explore why Trump is gambling everything on a single convoy, and why this specific operation is the final nail in the coffin of global stability. Understand the point. The Hormuz blockade has already pushed oil past $126 a barrel. This isn't just a number on a screen. It's the price of your bread, your electricity, and your future. 20,000 sailors are currently trapped in a literal hell, stuck on tankers under 110-degree heat, running out of water while drones explode overhead. If this operation fails, the global heart stops beating. Imagine the worst-case scenario. Iran doesn't blink. They sink a supertanker in the narrowest part of the channel. The strait isn't just closed, it's physically blocked by twisted steel and millions of gallons of crude oil. We wake up to $200 oil and a world where energy poverty is the new normal. We are days away from that reality. History has a sense of irony. In 1988, there was Operation Praying Mantis. Back then, the US decimated half of the Iranian Navy in a single day because they touched one American ship. But this is 2026. This isn't the 80s anymore. Today, Iran has ballistic missiles like the Khalij Fars and roams of mosquito boats designed for one thing: killing US carriers. Is there a way out? Trump thinks so. He's betting on a multi-layered umbrella of tech and firepower. The light at the end of the tunnel is thin, but it's there. To see it, we have to look at the meat of the operation. Thesis: Project Freedom isn't an escort mission, it's a high-stakes provocation. Listen, Trump called it humanitarian, but the sound of Hellfire missiles says otherwise. As the first two US-flagged ships, including the Alliance Fairfax, moved out, the IRGC swarmed them. But here is where it gets weird. Instead of a ship-to-ship duel, CENTCOM unleashed what they call the clinical application of defensive munitions. US Army Apaches and Navy Seahawks didn't just warn them, they sank 6 Iranian boats in the first 12 hours. Admiral Cooper confirmed they were eliminated. But the IRGC isn't backing down. They've already launched cruise missiles at US destroyers near Jask. So, here's the kicker. The US is using a defensive umbrella. It's not one ship guarding another. It's a total domain blackout involving F-35s, A-10s, and electronic warfare. But Iran claims they hit a US Navy frigate with 2 missiles. CENTCOM calls it a lie. But if even one of those missiles finds its mark, Trump's promise to blow them off the face of the Earth becomes an order. Understand the point. Iran is using administrative harassment. They claim they are just checking documents at Cyric. But the clinical reality is simple. The US is testing the IRGC's resolve, and the first shots have already been fired. Thesis: The Hormuz blockade has created the largest supply disruption in human history, and Project Freedom is a desperate race against a global economic heart attack. Check the numbers. Brent crude just peaked at $126.41. The strait has been effectively shut for 9 weeks. Qatar has declared force majeure on gas. This means Europe's industry is staring into an abyss. Trump needs to lower gas prices before the midterms, or he's politically dead. But look past the oil. There are 20,000 human beings, sailors, caught in the middle. They are running out of food. They are seeing drones explode above their decks while they wait for a permission that never comes. Many of them are from India and Southeast Asia, the unsung backbone of global trade. So here's the kicker. Trump calls this a humanitarian gesture, but insurance giants like Hapag-Lloyd are staying in port. They don't believe the umbrella is enough. They know the strait is a minefield. And then, on May 4th, the HMM Namu, a South Korean cargo ship, was hit by an explosion. No casualties, but the port-side engine room is a wreck. Trump immediately went on Truth Social, telling South Korea to join the mission. You see where this is going? This isn't just about saving sailors, it's a global shakedown for military alliances. Thesis: Project Freedom exists because the Islamabad talks weren't just a failure, they were a declaration of war. Think back to April. 21 hours of high-stakes negotiations in Islamabad. The US demanded total surrender, give up the uranium, stop the missiles, dissolve the proxies. Iran countered with a 14-point plan, demanding an immediate end to the blockade and US withdrawal. Trump walked out. He said he no longer cared about negotiations. Inside Iran, the radicals have won. They've purged the pragmatists. They've started executing anyone who calls for peace. 8 dissidents, including Vahid Baniamarian and Babak Alipur, were hanged in a wave of anticipatory repression. Understand the point. The IRGC believes Trump is bluffing because of the high oil prices. They think the American voter will break before the Iranian regime does. But Trump is using Project Freedom as a rebrand of a combat operation. He's framing the situation so that if Iran takes another shot, they are the aggressors, and he has his casus belli for total war. The 40-day war in February and March already cost Iran 60 trillion tomans in damage. But the IRGC leadership, fractured as it is, thinks they still have the Hormuz card. They are betting their survival on your gas tank. Thesis: We have exactly 30 days before the Freedom Mission triggers a regional apocalypse. The US has established an enhanced security area in Omani waters. It's a detour around the mines, but Iran just published its own control map. They say, coordinate with us, or we shoot. They are already targeting the UAE. Over 500 missiles have been launched at Abu Dhabi and Dubai since this started. The real danger is the ticking clock. The IRGC gave a 30-day ultimatum on May 4th. By early June, if the US doesn't lift its blockade of Iranian ports, Tehran will remove all restraint. We are talking about ballistic missiles hitting every oil facility in the Gulf. The UAE and Oman are already reporting civilian casualties from warning shots. So here's the kicker. The US Navy doesn't actually have enough minesweepers in the Gulf to guarantee this route is safe. They are bluffing with low observable capability to clear the path. If a single tanker hits a mine under US guidance, the Project Freedom brand is dead, and the war restarts in full. We are in the Bridgeton trap all over again. In 1987, a tanker under US escort hit a mine on day 1. Today, the stakes aren't just one ship. It's the 2,000 ships currently idling in the Gulf, waiting for a miracle that looks a lot like a suicide mission. Listen carefully. What you just saw isn't a movie. It's the reality of May 2026. In the next few weeks, the noise will be deafening. You'll see fake news about sunken carriers and Iranian surrenders. To survive this, you need the ground truth. Why do you need this? Because your financial survival depends on knowing which way the wind is blowing in Hormuz before the markets react. In my Telegram channel, we track the satellite data, the dark fleet movements, and the backroom deals in real time. Join us to be one of the knowing, not one of the confused. The link is in the description. Protect your future while the world burns. Let's recap. Just someone who saw a headline about a new operation. Who are you now? You understand that Project Freedom is a combat-heavy push to break a blockade that has already cost Iran its fast boat fleet. The global economy is on life support, with $126 oil and 20,000 sailors are the world's most vulnerable hostages. Diplomacy in Islamabad is dead, and the IRGC has set a 30-day timer on a regional explosion. Trump is one incident away from a forceful solution that could rewrite the map of the Middle East. Remember, in a world of chaos, information is the only currency that matters. Stay sharp.